The second question in the LeetCode contest is like longest subarray with maximum bitwise and. So basically here we have to find the length of the elements which is having the maximum bitwise and operation. So when we look into the given input and output format, these are the different types of subarrays that can be formed using the nums, like 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2 are there. So with these are the different types of subarrays that can be formed. And the output of the bitwise AND operation is also written over here. So if we look into all the different types of subarrays, we are getting 3 as the highest maximum bitwise AND calculate when we are calculating it. So at the final, the longest subarray will be 3 and 3. This is the largest subarray that is given 3 as the bitwise and while calculating it. So the first approach that anyone can get is like using a double for loop approach, where the in outer for loop will be the starting from 0 to n, and the inner for loop will be from end. It is named as end, and then we'll calculate bitwise AND operation for each and every subarray. But then according to the given constraints, it is going to give us TLE because num's length is 10 power 5. So we need to get an approach which is of big of n or even less than that. So what we can do is like for getting any bitwise maximum bitwise AND operation, we need a maximum number in the given element and in the given array, and then we need to find the continuous length of that maximum number. So for the given for the given question, here we can take a function in which we can find the answer, that is the maximum value. And then we are trying to keep the count of that maximum element in the given subarray. So initially, I'm initializing it with 0. So that when we are doing a for loop, we are checking whether the given element is the maximum value or not. If that is a maximum value, we can increment the maximum count subarray. It means that is the continuous elements that are present. And then if they are not continuous, I'm changing it to 0. Afterwards, I will store this value, count maximum subarray, and will return it directly. So basically here I'll be having another variable where I can keep as answer, and it is initialized to 0. So whenever I'm trying to increment it, I'm going to change the value of answer, maximum of count subarray and answer. And here I will be returning the answer as the return value. If anyone have other approach, they can also share it.
Yeah, kind of Lakshmi, when I looked at this question, I first thought of like what carries the maximum AND value from one number to the next number. If you go up, for example, if you have 2, 3 subarray.
Yes, sir.
So 2's value is currently 2. Like I thought somehow can we apply Kadane's algorithm kind approach where we say what is the maximum bitwise AND we get with every index being the end index.
Yes, sir.
So if you start with original array now, nums array, if you look at the first element, only if you consider the first element, which is 1, then maximum subarray and is going to be 1 because it's one element so far, right?
Yes.
Now, if you come to 2, there are two possibilities at 2. Either you extend the previous subarray or you start a new subarray with 2. In this particular case, if we extend the previous subarray, the bitwise AND will remain 1 only, like which is less than the current value.
It is going to be 0, sir. Bitwise AND.
Because one is 0, 1 and 2 is 1, 0. Yeah, so it is reducing ultimately. So we don't really want to extend the previous subarray. We want to start the new subarray. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So doing this, thinking of this idea, it felt like it's easy to get what is the maximum sub-array product or sub-array AND for this given array. And with this, like little more closer observation showed that your value that you are carrying forward, that will be extending, will be maximum value only. Because if you do 1 ampersand any other value, which is bigger than 1, then you have to start a new array. Is that right?
Yes.
And if the value after 1 is less value, then 1 will be carried forward.
Yes.
So ultimately, it is like whatever is the maximum element that would be considered. So it is like that observation boiled down to that and is going to be maximum value of and you can get with the highest value. That's the, yeah, started with Kadanes and later on figured out that it is not actually needed as Kadanes algorithm. It is you really need what is the maximum value in the array. And
Yes, sir.
and if they are contiguous, you will be able to extend that subarray, and that eventually boils down to the approach that you were talking about, that conclude that it is max value and find out how many times max value is repeating contiguously, and that would actually give the answer.
Yes, sir. So we'll be having two different types of approaches, and both are taking bit of n time complexity.
Yeah.
With no extra space complexity.
Yeah. Yeah. Because anything can be worked out by not using any extra space.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ashini says even she started with that. Okay, but got into some issue. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this was mainly an observation problem, we can say.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But it's a good mix of, I think, bitwise and subarray concept. So
The good thing is we are able to get two different types of approaches with the same time complexity.
yep. Okay. Cool. So Shreya, you did with Kadane. Okay.